Who can share the poll? Bentley?
Yep, sharing.
Okay, so let's take a look at these numbers again. So instructors are on average more concerned about AI's perils and its possibilities. Those of you who said no, are you kind of thinking differently now? That there might be more possibilities than you thought?
Folks, we encourage you to just go ahead and unmute at this point. We will monitor the chat as well.
Anybody want to share anything about that one? Okay, how about number 2? Because this is a big one. AI is causing students to cheat more. 77% of us said yes.
I think you gave us a solution, Susan, for us to be able to just nip it in the bud and encourage students to be able to identify AI themselves. And therefore, there's a joint understanding that if you can find it, I can find it, and don't do it. And here are some things that you can do. So I think even if I do feel like on the whole, students might be transferring their cheating from one set of tools to another, or maybe even just starting to use AI, I do feel like the more we can educate people on how to incorporate this into an open discussion, that maybe we can get people to identify it and reduce cheating.
Right, and I think, like David mentioned, people have always cheated. I don't think it's changed that all that much.
Susan?
Yeah. May I say something? I think the difference, though, is that we were pretty adept at figuring it out. And with AI, it's a new frontier. I have a student who's passing my all online class and is clearly using ChatGPT and other forms. I think, he says it's a gift from God that he's received to be such an excellent student who can't read a simple sentence and yet can write a 5-paragraph essay. So I love the idea of creating the quiz, but at this point, we're at the end of the semester and he's passing with flying colors because I don't have the benefit of meeting in person to do the test in class. So this is very frustrating, and I'd like some advice other than just creating a quiz based on this amazing essay. What else can I do here in the last 4 days of the semester?
I would ask him to free write something.
We're completely online. I think the idea of free writing I had an idea of creating a summary of a short reading live in the chat room. And then, how you can save the chat and have all the students do it, right? And then you can save the chat and you would have a live summary, unless he's got someone in the room. And I felt this feeding or writing for him and then just sending it to him live.
I also have students only online, and summary is not a good idea because ChatGPT does a really great job at summarizing stuff. So they may just go in there and do that. But getting from personal experience, that ChatGPT doesn't do well.
Like 3 reasons you came to this country, something like that in the chat room. Yeah, that might work. But then if there's someone in the room writing, a ghostwriter, which is, I sense that, or even a tutor at I'm from Santa Rosa Junior College, a tutor who is ultra supportive in the sense of doing the work for the student rather than actually tutoring them. All of this is in play with this particular student. And there's a history of this student doing this in past semesters as well.
Yeah,
when you're fully online, what do you do?
Well, that's when I started with the free writing, that all of that really changed everything, because when they were free writing, they were writing from a reading about what they thought of the reading. And I got to see what their writing levels were like. And so then when they did their formal writing, I could see the disconnect or the not disconnect and have a discussion with them. I always have a discussion. I never tell them. Some teachers will just say, well, you flunked because you cheated. I don't do that. I have a discussion with them and talk about what did you use for ChatGPT? How did you use it? Sometimes I say, oh, my brother wrote it for me. It's like, well, that's not good either.
But what if they deny it all? You know, I don't use ChatGPT. I don't have a brother. I don't. This is, you know, my work. So you're suggesting that they do live writing, personal writing, and then submitting it right then and there, right? In during the online session, as a what? As in the chat room, or just?
Well, I have them uploaded to Google Docs, and then so we have them, and then I can compare their writing, their free writes with their formal writing. David.
And then assign quite a value in terms of points for that kind of assignment, right? So it's weighted because tests are, he's acing all the tests, he's acing all the vocabulary assignment, everything is ace. So you would have to weigh those assignments, those live assignments quite high for him to get a D in the class, right?
Well, I don't know that the solution is to give him a D. I think the solution is to teach him how to write, right?
I'd like to add
to do his own work, not only with the short paragraphs, but on all the tests and everything else that makes up a course curriculum, right? That's the issue.
I'd like to kind of add a couple of points. Gene, you bring up a point that when you have an online class, in particular a large online class, if you have 250 students, it gets hard to do some of these things that we're talking about in here. But building on the idea of Google Docs, though, another thing you could do is just sort of casually ask a student, oh, by the way, what platform do you compose on? Do you use Microsoft Word like I do? And then if he's like 90% of, or maybe 95% of students these days, they'll say, no, Google Docs. And you can say, oh, great. Hey, share that with me, will you? And then you look at the version history. And then if you see a block of text appear in the span of 2 seconds, well, no one can write that fast.
Right.
And then that's your, I don't know. It's not a great metaphor, but your smoking gun. But, you know, I think a lot of things we can do is, look, I mean, I'm sure all of us have been bamboozled by AI at some point. All right. All of us have. I know, I'm sure I have. All right. What we can do, I think, going forward is you know, maybe forgive ourselves for what's happened in, you know, as a new technology kind of burst onto the scene, and just think about what we could do in the future. You know, how we set ourselves up for success next semester. And in that sense, you know, just be prepared to just kind of work with this technology going forward.
So Elizabeth, to mention your point, there's one professor at my school that actually forces the students to have a mirror behind. I think that's all wrong, but forces the students to have a mirror behind them and the camera on the writing so that they can see both directions. And to me, that's over policing. That is not teaching students anything except how to cheat. And I don't do that.
Yeah, it's just not, I mean, is that the kind of classroom environment you want to have, you know, or something like that? Surveillance state, you know, I don't know. This doesn't feel very collaborative to me. I don't think we have a lot of time left, but I might ask people from breakout rooms to just to share with us anything that kind of came out of it. I was in the shared folders room, so I can tell you that we had a productive talk there. But in some of these other rooms, for instance, the test your prompts room, let's see, how about let's see, Maricela, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Wonderful. Anything you can share with us, anything that came out of your breakout room work?
Well, I really loved joining the breakout room. I forgot there was this young lady, I forgot her name. Oh, Telly. She had the ChatGPT account, so she was able to input our ideas into the ChatGPT, and we were able to see, you know, the response and how to modify what we were given.
Excellent. Yeah, good practice for all of us. Let's see. And then there was I think the most popular room was test out AI applications for instructors. Lauren Hurley, are you still with us?
Yep, I am.
Wonderful. Anything you can share from that room?
I hadn't used like the AI feature
sharing other AI related activities. Let's see. How about Ryan? Ryan Detweiler? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anything you can tell us?
Yeah, we talked about using ChatGPT to generate stories, and then maybe another website like 11 Labs to narrate them. Juan was talking about using ChatGPT for students to check their writing so they could get it from Canvas, upload it to ChatGPT, and get some corrections. We talked about using Twee to create different activities.
Excellent. I hadn't heard of 11 labs, Ryan. Thank you for sharing. This is why we got to do stuff like this here. It's like we're all kind of sitting on these cool tools we got here. And then interestingly enough, nobody went to the discuss key takeaways, questions, and concerns here, but I think we've had a chance to do some of that all together here. Susan, I don't know, other kind of things you want to touch on at this point?
No, I think this has been really productive, and I've learned a lot from everybody here, as well as hopefully they learned something from us. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming again. Thank you to everyone at Katisal for doing all the background work to make this happen here. I sort of just kind of drifted in this morning. It's been pretty easy for me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Susan and David.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We're going to jump right into the next one. We will take a little break after the next presentation. But thank you, Susan. Thank you, David, for this wonderful conversation on writing themes in AI. Now we're going to turn to more everyday uses of AI with Christy.